Well, hi, Budget Comics back again with a video haul here. This is more of a creator showcase. I like to showcase different books done by different creators, and these aren't ever really worth a lot of money, but they're fun to have in your collection, especially if you like a certain artist or writer. And I'm going to highlight a few of these here, and my math is never good. At the beginning I said $20 for these things, but basically these come out to be between $1, $2 a piece. But before we do that, I wanted to highlight one other thing I found, speaking of art and things like that. And these are trading cards in the early 90s, mid-90s, late 90s, all throughout the 90s. Comic books had trading cards, if you remember. And Marvel and DC had, a number of series. Image even had some. Valiant had some. Even Malibu Ultraverse had some. And these actually come from, I believe, the second series of Amalgam cards. And as you can see, that's Magneto, and he had led the Magnetic Man, which is Magneto and the Metal Man put together. DC and Marvel got together and had this line of comics. And then the other one is Dr. Doomsday. And I'll bring him up a little bit in focus. There's Dr. Doomsday. And there's Magneto. And these are part of a Canvas Chase subset where you put them together, 9 cards together, and it forms a picture of a comic called the Secret Crisis of the Infinite Hour. And it's just kind of neat that not only the two companies did this line and made these cards, but they also came up with some backstory to these. As I said in a previous video, when you read either of these Series 1, Series 2 of Amalgam, you kind of jumped right in to this universe. It wasn't like it was just starting. It had been going on for years. So there had been back plots and subplots and backstory long before these comics were put out. At least that's what these comics will make you believe. So it's kind of neat that, even in the card set, you get some of this backstory. So just wanted to show those off. Not really worth much, but fun. Another fun one. This is an early Todd McFarlane, if not one of his first pro works. I can't remember if this came out before Coyote or not, but this is Infinity Inc. Number 14. And $2, I think. Neat little book. What's also fun about this book is this is the first appearance, I believe her last name is Cooper. I can't remember her first name. But she becomes Harley Quinn. And if you didn't know, there was Harley Quinns long before Harley Quinzel in the DC universe. Nothing to do with the character, but fun little trivia book. But again, the Todd McFarlane on it here. And it's just a really nice, colorful cover. Fun if you do wall displays. I've seen people with their comic book rooms. Back in the 90s, this was kind of a hot book and sold for $10, but I got it recently on my comic shop for $2. So, nice book to pick up. Next book is Spider-Man the 1000, number 1. And this is by Garth Ennis and John McCree, the team behind Hitman. And this was like it says $3.95 on there, but that's not what I paid for it. I think I just put it in a different bag. It was like a $2 book. And it's just neat that team did Spider-Man. The series is a little weird. This is out of the, what was the name of this? Tangled Web. Spider-Man Tangled Web series. This is the first issue of that, where different creators would jump in and tell kind of different stories of Spider-Man, kind of backstories, and this is one of them. There's no set order to these stories. They kind of jump around Spidey's history, but fun stories nonetheless. And this one's a little weird, what you expect from this team, but it's just neat that Hitman team, which I've actually seen some Hitman comics, not just the Dog Welder one I showed off, but some other of his issues in these videos. So if you like that series and you like that team, this might be worth picking up. Next, this is actually 2 books here. And because I can't tell, this is New Warriors Annual 1 and Mighty Mouse 10. And these are the first published pro works of Dan Slott, the writer for Spider-Man. And they both came out in July of, I think it was 90. Let me see if I got that right. 91, I'm sorry, July 91. And so it's hard to tell exactly which one came out first. Both by Marvel, but again, $1, $2 a piece. Mighty Mouse is a little hard to find because no one really collect Mighty Mouse. It's the last issue of that series, with a spoof on David Letterman here. So, you know, worth picking up. He's becoming more and more popular. You know, so if you like Dan Slott, you like his writing on Spider-Man, worth getting here. This is The Other Side, Vertigo title number 1, and this is the first pro work of Jason Aaron. If I remember correctly, Jason Aaron actually won a contest with Marvel, writing a little story for Wolverine. But as far as I can tell, this is his first pro work. So, worth getting. You know, he's becoming a big name, writing Original Sin and everything. So, worth picking up. Again, I think this was $2. Spelljammer number 8. This is the first published pro work of Joe Quesada, as far as I can tell. And if I'm wrong on any of these, please correct me. It's you know, you can only do so much digging around, and this is just my best guess. Sometimes there's the databases are sometimes a little off, so you know, this is just what I went on. But dollar book, you know, of course, the head of Marvel now, so worth picking up. And it's a series you don't really hear about, and there's going to be some you just never heard of any of these series, because that's where these writers get their start. So again, first pro work of Joe Quesada. Next is Daredevil and the Black Widow, 102. This is the first American pro work of Chris Claremont. As far as I can tell. He had a very prolific career in the UK, but this is his first American comic book. This was maybe a little more pricey than the others. I think this was like $3, $4. But still, if you like Chris Claremont and you want to have something neat in your collection, worth getting. Avengers 141. Now, this isn't his pro work, but this is George Perez's first issue on the Avengers, and he became kind of that prototypical Avengers artist for a long time, and you know, came back to it after the Heroes Reborn debacle and all that stuff. So really neat comic book to get if you like the Avengers, you like George Perez. This isn't a good copy. This was $2. I think this copy, you know, in good shape will run you, you know, maybe up to $10. So just be prepared for that. But you can find it, you know, in lower grades for if you just want to have it in your collection. You know, it's a Squadron Sinister, but also the Squadron Supreme appears here too. So just a neat comic book to pick up and have, and it's just a cool cover on top of all that. Fantastic Four 2099. This is the first pro work of Joe Kelly, and again, $1 book. You know, the series didn't last long. The whole 2099 line went kind of kaput pretty soon after this book, and then just became a one title for Marvel, and then that only lasted 8 issues. So this might be hard to find just because comic book stores wouldn't necessarily keep it in stock. But again, you can find it online for probably $1. So worth getting. Next is Caliber Presents number 23. Pay no attention to the man on the cover. I have no idea what that's all about. But this has a preview in the back for a story called Quivers, written by a guy named Brian Michael Bendis. And as far as I can tell, this is his first published pro work. I mean, I'm sure someone might pull out an underground copy of something. But again, I try to focus on what actually you could pick up in a comic book store or off a newsstand rack. So again, one of the huge names out there now, and again, I think this was $2. So why not pick it up if you really like his work? I think the work I liked most with him was the Ultimate Spider-Man run with Mark Bagley, which lasted almost 100 issues. I wasn't a big fan of a lot of his other stuff, but really liked that. His Daredevil stuff was pretty good. But he's been everywhere. He's doing everything. Again, for a couple dollars, this is a nice thing to put in your collection. Again, none of these things will ever be worth a lot of money, but they're just fun to have. They're just fun to pull out and show people. So, and talk about. So, again, worth picking up. Well, that's it for now. Like if you like. I'll post again if you don't. Bye.